So the first couple of T20 internationals in the series between New Zealand and India were kind of one-sided affairs. In the first game, New Zealand scored about 210, and like India lost a few wickets in the first 5 overs, and then the game was a no contest. The second game, it was a little more competitive, but New Zealand had lost early wickets and they scored only 150 or so, and then India finally managed to chase it down relatively easily. From that perspective, the third game, the decider that was played today in Hamilton, was a cracker. New Zealand batted first, and as you can see, like they kind of took a pretty early advantage. Within 6 overs, in the seventh over, they were at 77 for no loss. So, and then like while they lost a bit of that advantage because of losing a couple of wickets, you see that they held on to that advantage till the pretty much the end of their innings. And then like you had when you had India batting, you see that until about 7 overs they kind of kept pace. After 7 overs, there was 64, which was in line with the required rate. And then you had this one period and then you saw the seesaw. India pulled back the match, and at the halfway mark, India was 100 nearly 110, which means that they gave themselves a pretty good chance of winning. And then like the Kiwis pulled it back, and then India pulled it back again, and then there was a flurry of wickets around here. And then like you had this partnership between Krunal Pandya and Dinesh Karthik, which nearly took India there, but finally you can see that the game was never really in India's grasp. Now the interesting thing here is that if you think of our figures of 40, 47-0, you would think of that as being like rather kind of bad bowling. And if you however, if you look at the impact of the players, you see that Tim Saudi, who had 40, 47-0, actually had a positive score. He improved the chances of his team winning by 10 percentage points. On the other hand, somebody like Dinesh Karthik, who scored at a strike rate of more than 200, seemed to make a negative contribution to India's chances of victory. Why would that happen? This is primarily because of this last over, which was bowled by which is bowled by Saudi. So you see that let's just pull up the individual performance for Saudi here, and you see that he probably had his first couple of overs. He went for a few, but they didn't really change the chances of the team winning. His third over was a bit of a bad one. He kind of got taken for a few, and then in his last over, he came in to bowl with India requiring 16 off six, which is hard but not impossible. This is a pretty fair indication of how. It was about a 80% chance that New Zealand would defend this. And then the last over, you had like a two followed by two dot balls and then a single. So it didn't really matter that the in the last ball of the match, Dinesh Karthik hit a six, or that Saudi bowled a wide before that. So because the match was pretty much over in the first few balls of that game. And this is what you see, right? If you look at somebody like Dinesh Karthik, he, as you know, came into bat when India were relatively in trouble at the 15th over at requiring nearly 70 of 30. And then he comes in and he starts smashing sixes. He lost Dhoni soon after. He starts smashing sixes in conjunction with Krunal Pandya. But then the problem with him was when it came to the clutch, which was the last over, when India needed 16 of 6, he kind of failed to deliver the goods in the first four balls. And that led to a kind of a negative contribution. So if you look at the kind of key innings in the game, it tells you a better story of what happened in the game today. First of all, yes, the Colin Munro, who opened for New Zealand, got them off to a flyer. It was pretty much uh, his batting that kind of got them to this score of 70 in 6 overs. And then he slowed down. Seifert, his partner, got out. Williamson came in and didn't really do much, but the Munro again accelerated. So this is kind of pattern that I've kind of noticed over the last couple of games. Actually, you have these players who come in and they don't kind of smash through the length of the innings. They speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down again. For example, like if you look at Rohit Sharma, the India's initial charge was led by Sharma because the Shikhar Dhawan got out pretty quickly, and Rohit made 20 in 11, which you see held the game in India's balance. And then he slowed down. He made only 17 of the next 20 balls, which in a high scoring game like this is a extremely poor returns. And then at the end of it, he kind of got out. And it didn't help that, like, I mean, Rishabh Pant again, when he came in, I mean, he came in and he initially had a good time. I mean, he overall, if you see, he made 28 of 12, but of that there was 3 in 5, which means he was on 23 of 7, which is a great return, which is what brought India back into the game. And then he lost it again, and then India lost a few wickets, and then, like, so it was one of those seesaw games, and like, so it was a but yeah, I mean, and if you look at the team performance, you see that, like, I mean, like, New Zealand kind of lost their way a couple of times, but still they managed to hold on to what they should have scored. But yeah, I mean, like, it was finally, like, the target proved too much beyond India. So one thing I must tell you is that, like, when you look at the scorecard for this game, right? I mean, like, I think, I guess I'm like advertising my tool here again, but like, if you look at the scorecard for this game, you'll think, oh, New Zealand won by 4 runs. It must have been a tough game. India must have kind of done rather well, and so on. You would have thought. But then the problem is that, I mean, if you look at the story of the game, you see that, like, kind of India was never really in the game. I mean, they kind of Pant and Rohit's flurry here brought them back into the game for once, and then Karthik's and Krunal Pandya's sixes gave them some hope. But like, it's New Zealand's game all the way. So I'll be back with more videos. So like, the link is again card.shinyapps.io/deep extra. Do check it out. I have all the T20 internationals going back to 2005, and then, like, there are a couple of other links which I'll also post to the video, where you can check out all the one day internationals going back to 2010, and all the latest seasons of some of the popular franchise leagues. See you again soon.